Hey everyone, and welcome to This Explainer. Okay, today we are embarking on what I can only describe as a thrilling, high-stakes mission. It's a highly coordinated, global operation, and it runs entirely behind the scenes. We're talking about something that protects our most vital resources literally every single second of the day. We are diving into the Cold Chain Mission. Let's get started. So, picture this. A delicate, exotic flower is harvested in a sweltering tropical climate. How on earth does that single, fragile little flower survive a grueling 3,000-mile journey across continents without withering away to nothing? Or, maybe even more importantly, how does a life-saving biopharmaceutical stay perfectly potent as it travels across scorching deserts? Well, the answer definitely isn't magic. It's a massive, invisible global infrastructure, and today we're going to expose exactly how the whole shebang works. Consider this our mission briefing. We're going to be moving through 4 critical phases today. First up, the invisible ice road. Then we'll head inside the cold fortress. Next, we'll open up the temperature toolkit. And finally, we'll look at a massive theater of operations with India's cold storage boom.
All right, let's jump right into phase 1, the invisible ice road. This is where we establish the absolute, unbreakable laws of this temperature-controlled universe. So, what exactly is the cold chain? Well, it's the meticulous management of temperature to maintain the quality and safety of perishable products, right from the exact point of origin straight into the final consumer's hands. In this sort of cinematic world we're exploring, time and temperature are the ultimate enemies we have to outsmart. Literally, the very second a crop is picked, a ticking clock starts. The cold chain is that invisible road that manipulates that clock, preserving freshness and making sure every single item adheres to some incredibly strict safety regulations. Because, when this invisible road breaks down, the mission fails, and that results in rapid textural degradation, discoloring, bruising, and microbial growth. But let's zoom out for a second here, because this is about so much more than just keeping a salad crisp. The cold chain is a literal, impenetrable shield for public health. It guarantees the food on our plates is safe. It guards highly sensitive biopharmaceuticals, life-saving vaccines, and believe it or not, even preserves priceless artwork. When this chain holds, it literally keeps society thriving. Okay, now that we understand the incredible stakes, let's move right along to phase 2, inside the cold fortress. I want you to step inside the massive, high-tech environments where this daily operation actually goes down.
Think about the stark contrast between standard dry storage and cold storage. Dry storage is your basic warehousing, standard logistics. Pretty straightforward, right? But cold storage, that is an exercise in absolute precision. This isn't just a chilly room we're talking about. It requires navigating impossibly strict regulations and managing massive, costly energy demands. Honestly, think of it as a highly complex, precision-engineered fortress designed specifically to hold the line against nature itself. And because running this fortress is so incredibly costly and complex, most manufacturers don't even try to do it themselves. Instead, they call in the tactical specialists. Enter the third-party logistics providers, or 3PLs. These guys are the ultimate guardians. Imagine a large cheese producer in Wisconsin, for example. Instead of building their own facility, they hire a 3PL to warehouse their sensitive dairy products. These 3PLs take on the immense financial and operational burden of custom cold storage, meaning the original creators can just focus on what they do best. But guarding the fortress? Yeah, it's intense. 3PLs can't just run a simple one-size-fits-all warehouse. They have to juggle incredibly diverse customer demands. You've got products with varying shelf lives, specific temperature ranges. I mean, a batch of life-saving vaccines needs a vastly different climate than a shipment of frozen seafood, right? To survive, they have to obsess over intense energy efficiency, utilizing high-quality doors and heavy-duty insulation, because one leaky seal and the whole mission fails.
So, what kind of gear do these specialists actually use to pull this off? Let's open the armory and explore phase 3, the temperature toolkit.
It turns out different rescue operations require totally different loadouts. If you need cost-effective mobile storage for smaller quantities, you deploy refrigerated containers. Need rapid cooling before food hits a catering company or restaurant? Bam, you hit it with a blast freezer. For massive general temperature-controlled storage operations, you build out custom cold rooms. And for the absolute highest stakes, we're talking handling blood, vaccines, and biopharma, you utilize hyper-specialized pharmaceutical-grade units. Every single piece of equipment is a customized tool for preservation. And when you integrate all these tools into a world-class warehouse, it literally operates like a high-tech bunker. You've got distinct chilled, frozen, and ambient zones. There's hyper-precise humidity control, strict separate areas for veg and non-veg items. To prevent a catastrophic blackout, there's complete power backup. They even use air-locked truck docking systems, so the warm outside air never even touches the product during loading. And of course, it's all monitored by 24/7 security cameras. These aren't just storage units. They are heavily fortified bases protecting our critical supplies. Now, let's pull the camera way back. We're shifting from the microscopic battle against temperature to a massive macro-level theater of operations. Welcome to Phase 4, India's cold storage boom. 23.7 million metric tons. That staggering figure is the immense total capacity of India's cold storage network. It's huge. But here's the catch. This incredible volume isn't just held in a few futuristic megastructures. It's actually spread across over 5,300 highly fragmented units nationwide. But here is what's really fascinating about how all that capacity is used. Despite having tens of millions of tons of space for all kinds of diverse, high-value goods, more than half of it, a full 56%, is dedicated to a single crop, the potato. It's a pretty wild look at how specific regional agricultural needs can completely shape an entire nation's infrastructure. And this mission is escalating at a breathtaking pace. Imagine a rising command center readout in a movie, jumping from 31.8 million tons in 2014, stepping up to 34.9 in 2016, and reaching 36.6 million tons by 2017. The market is relentlessly pushing for massive exponential growth year after year just to keep up with demand. But, even the strongest armor has a vulnerability. Despite this massive infrastructural growth, there is still a critical gap. Close to 15 to 16% of fruits and vegetables still perish. Why? Well, it's because the cold storage facilities are largely located near the big consumption centers, the cities, rather than near the farms where the crops are actually harvested. So the clock starts ticking, giving the elements a massive head start before the crops ever reach the safety of the cold chain. So, to bridge that exact gap, you need an integrated system, right at the farm level, requiring the flawless execution of 4 steps: aggregation, sorting, pre-cooling, and packaging. Think of it as a constant rhythmic motion. The moment the harvest happens, you aggregate the crop, sort it for quality, immediately pre-cool it to hold the clock, and securely package it for transport. If you build the system right at the source, you don't just improve efficiency, you completely neutralize the massive problem of agricultural wastage. Which brings us to the end of our briefing. Knowing the epic, high-stakes, tightly controlled journey it took to get there, the invisible ice roads, the high-tech fortresses, the relentless battle against time and temperature, are you ready to look at your refrigerator in a completely new light? The next time you pull a crisp apple or a cold bottle of medicine from those shelves, take a second to remember the cinematic, hidden world operating every single day to make it possible. Thank you so much for joining me on this explainer, and I really hope you leave today with a whole new appreciation for the cold chain.